This next arc is all about life outside the domes, and it is really where the main themes of the show start to fall into place. The biggest question that starts to get asked in these episodes is, do lies have any benefit? Is knowing the truth necessarily better? The most major way this is shown is through the people outside the dome in the commune. When Vincent wakes up after falling outside of Ramdo, we are introduced to Hooty, who acts pretty much as the leader of this commune outside the dome. The other people really look up to Hooty for wisdom and for hope. They trust his word over anyone else. But the truth of the matter is, Hooty is one who lies and one who deceives. The very first time we get a sense of Hooty's philosophy is in episode 4, when he's talking with Vincent. Hooty brings forth the idea that lies are truths until people realize them as such. He agrees with Pino when she says that lies make people happy. Hooty plugs this same philosophy into how he guides the other folks in the commune. The people in the commune are all bitter and would really like to go back to Ramdo, but they're stuck. They talk behind other people's backs and side essentially with whomever will give them hope and tell them what they want to hear. Hooty exploits that attitude, and rather than making an attempt to remedy it by promoting a self-sufficient lifestyle, he allows the people of the commune to rely on him. There is one woman who does not stand for what Hooty is about, and that is Quinn. She's firmly against the ideals that Hooty puts forth of lying and relying on him. She's not going to sit and rot in what is ultimately a trash dump, but rather instead work to create a better life than the one she has. But because of her more active, independent, and realistic attitude, she is met with harsh criticism by those who follow Hooty. These same people, however, have such wavering opinions to the point where they can't completely trust what Hooty is saying. Their opinions are actually symbolized in the series through this dough-like substance they are cooking on a fire that's used to maintain warmth. When Hooty initially lies to them by saying that he's been in negotiations with Ramdo, that the quote-unquote enemy is dying for their return, and that he apparently has an inside source telling him this, their expectations are raised, and that is reflected in the dough which keeps on rising. That is, until Quinn chimes in, stating that she found it strange and wanted to know how Hooty managed to get in touch with anyone from Ramdo. After hearing that, they grow skeptical and the bubble literally bursts. Hooty sometime after discusses with the people of the commune in regards to a negotiator from Ramdo arriving, and he is caught in a position where he has to keep the lie going, even though it's clear that he doesn't want them to believe in this lie. Later in that same episode, Quinn discusses with Vincent in the trash yard about her problem with lies. She states that lies only lead to more lies, and that soon there will be no more turning back. Already these people are broken, they don't really have much to hold on to, and they can't just keep waiting forever and holding on to the same hope. They're going to break. It's especially apparent that Hooty doesn't want them to break, because then he'd lose his friends and be all alone. What follows the scene with Quinn and Vincent is another shot of the dough, this time entirely burnt. The people are wondering when on earth this negotiator is coming, and they are beginning to grow truly skeptical. So where does Vincent fit into this theme? Well, at the beginning of episode 4, we see Vincent wake up and discuss Ramdo, stating how he believes it to be nothing but a lie and has essentially rejected the prospect of becoming an ideal citizen. He's showing his true feelings now, as opposed to before where he was just trying to be what society considered to be ideal. There's actually a good scene in episode 4 of Riel going into Vincent's home in Ramdo. There's two of everything, but one of the most noteworthy aspects of it were the two mugs by his bed, both of which are parallel to each other, but also both are empty. Vincent has two sides to him, even in Ramdo, but because of the personality he put on to be the ideal citizen, he's ultimately empty. This is then shown in contrast to when he's in bed, and notice that the mug is full. I believe this to represent his personality now after being outside of Ramdo. He's full of emotion, full of conviction. He's his own person. There's other symbolism representing the contrast between facade and truth within Vincent. When Vincent wakes up in episode 4, it's the first time we see him with his eyes fully open, now seeing everything and becoming more open with his thoughts. This changes later, however, when Hooty starts to tell lies about Vincent being some savior that's going to save the commune. His eyes close, and he becomes a lot more reserved. There's even a portion in episode 5 where he begins to hide, and thus begins to hide his true self with it. Everything starts to change, however, when Riel is brought into the picture. The scene involving her discussing the proxies with Daedalus is actually quite noteworthy. This is due to the fact that Daedalus agrees to help Riel find out more information, but he does so while mentioning to Riel that she may not like the truth once she finds it out, which foreshadows the main question of the show: is knowing the truth always beneficial? Through investigating the deceased proxy, it leads Riel to go outside the dome, where she heads to this commune in search of Vincent. It's there that she runs into Hooty, and the lies that once held this commune together are now tearing apart at the seams. There's a nice double entendre utilized in the scene in which Riel and Hooty meet. Hooty sees a reflection of himself in Riel's suit, and he screams. He screams both because this quote-unquote negotiator who he had completely made up has arrived, but also due to the crayon on his face in part by Timothy and Pino. This is a good segue into where Hooty is exposed as the poor leader he truly is. Hooty carelessly sends Timothy and Pino to where the patrol squads are, leading Timothy, Quinn's son, to his own death. The people of the commune are attacked, and Vincent protects Riel from the patrol squad, only to have her suit break down in the process, exposing her entirely to the elements. When she returns to Hooty's place, Vincent awakens, and as he wakes up, his eyes are open once again, now showing his true identity, and showcasing that the facade Hooty once set up has now been broken. Once Timothy dies and the people of the commune are attacked, we see a major role reversal in the characters of Hooty and Quinn. Hooty was originally the one who deceived, the one who manipulated the people and lied, the one who stole the 400 rabbits, while Quinn was the one who was more level-headed, the one who was the voice of reason. The scene that's the most telling of this is when Hooty has this discussion with Pino about what had happened to Timothy. Rather than entirely sugarcoating it, he tells the truth. He says Timothy is never coming back, that's it. He comforts Pino, and gives her the opportunity to feel sad, rather than lying to her to keep her happy. This is cemented even further when he has a discussion with Vincent, telling him not to trust Quinn. He does this out of genuine concern, telling him to return to Ramdo. Hooty does want to go back to Ramdo. He wants it more than anything else. He knows that it's better than the commune. So why not give Vincent, the one who still listened to him when everyone else abandoned him, an opportunity to return to the place where he believes not only Riel would be cured, but Vincent would be more likely to be accepted. Hooty, of course, is unaware of what would happen should Vincent return, so it's a kind gesture. Quinn, on the other hand, is quite different. The people of the commune have now dubbed her their leader. She completely uses this opportunity as a means to manipulate Vincent and Riel into joining them on the 400 rabbits. She makes an attempt to deceive Vincent by saying that if both him and Riel accompany her, she'll give Riel the elixir necessary to cure her illness. But this same elixir turns out to be whiskey, a fake, just like Hooty had said. Furthermore, you look at why the people at the commune side with her, and you begin to realize that nothing much has changed with them since they were with Hooty. Yes, instead of them just sitting around and doing nothing, they're actually being active, but they haven't learned anything. These people are old, unskilled, and have lived purely bitter lives accomplishing very little. So when Quinn sends them out right away to feign off the patrol squads, of course they can't do anything because they're going into things right away with a lack of preparation. Hell, when the 400 Rabbits is undergoing some difficulties, the man outright says he doesn't know what to do because he's not a mechanic. This just goes to show the utter lack of preparation and how going into this fight was almost suicidal. but I think that it's also very important to note the conclusion to each character's arc and what they were able to accomplish in the end. In these episodes, we constantly see the toy soldier in Hootie's place, the one that he stole from Ramdo, the one that got him kicked out of Ramdo, and essentially the last remaining thing that he has to hold on to from Ramdo. Vincent still makes the decision to have him go back there with Riel. Vincent does not feel comfortable returning to Ramdo because he believes that there's no place for him there. Sure, at the end of the day, Hootie was manipulative, lonely, and a thief, but at the same time, he did realize his faults once he had almost nothing left to hold on to, and helped Vincent out. Thus, he was rewarded. This reward wasn't a particularly huge one, but it was what he had been longing for all this time, an opportunity to return to Ramdo. It wasn't going to ever end well. After all, Riel had stated that everyone from the commune was to be eliminated. But it didn't matter because even if he could only see the city for a split second before perishing entirely, it was what he truly wanted all this time, and something he never thought was going to happen. When you take a look at Quinn, she was someone who initially wanted to do everything on her own. She wanted to lead a happy life with her son Timothy and find her own place worth living in. She disliked Hootie's strong reliance on everyone else, and she disliked how much they wanted to go back to Ramdo while also just sitting around and accomplishing very little. However, once she lost Timothy, all she seeked now was revenge. Revenge against the Dome, revenge against those from Ramdo. Quinn would use any means necessary to get this revenge, even if it meant using others. She has no problem using Riel as a hostage, because to her, that's someone from the place who killed her son. There's a very telling line in the episode where Pino outright says that Quinn reminds her of her own father, not her mother. Why? This is because Pino's mother was cold, abusive, and neglectful. Her father Raul, on the other hand, is extremely vengeful, but it's with good intent. In spite of his cold exterior, deep down he really does care about his family, and Quinn is no different in that regard. She means well with what she's doing, but she is also going about it the wrong way, and acting more so on impulse. Her final words discussing how these machines fly in circles, how she ended up losing to a system so stuck in its ways. She owns up to her mistakes and passes on. While this is all going on, Pino finally starts to feel a genuine human emotion that she never quite felt before. Sadness. Lies may make us happy, but the more one lies, the more these lies build up, eventually leading to everything blowing up and falling apart at the seams. Thanks for watching. Once again, special thanks to the Ergo Proxy Wikia and Grey Spectrum Anal. Even though I didn't entirely agree with the Anal's interpretation of some of the scenes within these episodes, the different perspective is still worthwhile, and I highly recommend checking it out. Next time, I'll be discussing something I have yet to really address in this entire series, which is the character of Daedalus, as well as continuing Vincent's journey. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a like, as well as subscribe if you'd like to see similar content in the future. Last part didn't really have too many comments, which is why it took so long for this part to come out. I just need some reception, whether you guys like it or you hate it or whatever. Just please let me know in the comment section. And as always, I'll catch you later.